built this deck last night. This is we've been messing around with Enigma Jewel with Shackles. We got a league we were 4-1. It was really cool. I was reminded of the Signet Enigma Jewel deck that we had months and months and months ago, and I'm like, you know what? We never tried the deck with Mox Opal. Maybe I'll give it a go. And I built this. I guess I don't want to go too deep into the card choices because I just kind of want to share like how sick this first game was with it, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to. I don't know that I'm going to be able to. It's been a while since I've used a replay. I think this speeds it up. I don't know that I'm going to be able to kind of illustrate how does it how like sick this deck is without showing the replay. So it's like turn two, you just have like 6 mana in play. The signets, the individual can filter into the signets, and I end up like game one against Boros. I end up game one against Boros just like looping Upheaval 6 times with Tamiyo. And I put Tamiyo in the deck mostly because I felt like it was just kind of good. But I ended up realizing like when you're upheavaling, you get to pick up your Tamiyo, you get to flip it super easy with Quantum Riddler, and maybe it was game two that I looped it with Tamiyo. But you get to there is a Tamiyo. Yeah, you get to flip Tamiyo really easy. Then you get to like minus on your upheaval, and you get to upheaval over and over and over again. And I like this game took forever. Maybe I won't even click through the whole thing because I was playing against like you could watch the timers, but like I ended up being like up 10 minutes on the clock against Boros doing this, which was I was really wish maybe this is why I'm doing this is because I really was wishing I was streaming the whole time I was playing this game. Like being up 10 minutes doing this against Boros is just so funny. But I just like the ability to like loop upheaval with Tamiyo was immediately like there's something here, and like dumping your hand for Quantum Riddler was really really interesting. And despite the deck being mostly mana sources, the fact that the rest of your deck is like um card draw and upheavals, like just felt like the deck was just weirdly like fast enough and consistent enough. So I end up playing this game. I do end up winning this game. And then I played another very, very slow match against Amulet where I'm looping Upheaval. And so I'm gonna stop there. But then I ended up adding a couple Trinispheres to the list that were not in the build last night, where instead of having to just loop Upheaval turn after turn with Tamiyo and then like attack with Riddler, Upheaval again, you could just lock your opponent mostly out of the game with Trinisphere. Also, like holding up Sync has been pretty good. Playing Sync and bouncing it's been really good. But I was like one dynamic compared to like our older build of the deck is like when you get to like play Loch Mare, use all of Loch Mare's counters, bounce Loch Mare, reuse it. You get to play Tamiyo, minus Tamiyo, bounce Tamiyo, and then flip it again. You get to warp Riddler, cast Riddler, bounce Riddler, warp Riddler again. It's like you not only are you resetting your opponent's board, but you're also resetting your card advantage, which is a really, really big deal. I was also like looking at our older build of the deck. We were playing Urza, and Urza just wasn't that good in the deck. In retrospect, like maybe a little bit better with Tamiyo, but when your deck even though you have a lot of artifacts, making like signets tap for they already tap for mana. You know what I mean? These already tap for mana. Like I don't Urza's like mostly Urza was like a spin machine and then like a pretty big beefy win con when it came down. But I've been pretty happy just playing no Urza and just having a deck that's just like a bunch of fast mana and upheaval, and then a couple Trinispheres to lock your opponent out, and you know card draw to select this. And so I don't know. I was like weirdly really impressed by the deck last night. I feel like we have potentially a playable upheaval deck in modern, which is just like so sick. Claude with the 60 months. Happy 5 years. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Should we have that blue land that makes spells uncounterable for the control matchup? Well, the card does only enter tapped, and so I don't know. Control is also like I think I'm not gonna play a tap land in my deck because of control. Like there's not that much control, and I feel like I have so much card advantage I can just kind of play through it. Hopefully. Um, would Keenan be to win more? I don't know. Keenan's interesting. Maybe kind of hard to cast. Something to think about. So we can keep this. This is kind of a fun draw where we can go Enigma Jewel, and then we can use the mana from Jewel to cycle Lrien Revealed, play Island from the Lrien Revealed, play Signet, use the other floating mana from Jewel to like warp Riddler, or maybe play another Signet if we've drawn that. Although we are on the draw here. And we just drew an island. Are you allowed? Yeah, you can only Arena of Glory it if it costs some mana. Oh, also, this is going to be legal in Modern now, right? Dualcaster Mage. Dualcaster Mage opens up a lot of stuff. There's there's multiple like copy like target creature, instant or sorcery that this enables those combos. Dualcaster Mage with Flare of Duplication. I remember that's something I've wanted. Like when Flare of Duplication came out in MH3, I wanted to copy stuff with Dualcaster Mage and then sack Dualcaster Mage to Flare a few times. And so it's been a long time since I've thought much about it. It's not legal. Oh no. I mean, I don't. Why I thought it was legal is I click on this and it says set Secrets of Strixhaven and comma Secrets of Strixhaven variants. So like I click on this, I see the comma, and I think that means it's legal, right? Okay, take it all back. It is. I think it is a card that would be cool in Modern. I don't know that it'd be problematic in this current standard. Oh, March. Okay, I'm like, why are they spending 2 mana to Prismatic Ending me? Set symbols, all that matters. Well, I just thought that it like this was just the variant of it. They graveyarded an Ephemerate off the Surveil, so maybe they're missing a land. Okay, they are missing a land. So let's go Signet. I guess we Lrien Revealed first. Then Preordain. Bottom, both of these. And then I guess I'll Warp the Riddler. Maybe Hardcast next turn. Not too bad through the March on my Soaring. Dang, I'm really bummed about Dualcaster Mage. I think you forgot about your boy Lutri. No, Lutri doesn't work like Dualcaster Mage works. Lutri doesn't let you play the like copy creature combos because Lutri only counts. It only copies if you cast it. Dualcaster Mage always copies. So the like make a token copy of a creature cards like there's only 4 mana cards that combo within Modern. They talk about the new 1 mana blue wizard. Yeah, so that card actually is now even more interesting. The self mill on that card is more interesting with this new 10 mana creature. But yeah, the self mill there is really cool. Oh yeah, the blue one's it's also legendary. That's right. So it's just like there just isn't a combo like timeless and historic with Dualcaster Mage and multi duplication. There's a few of these multi duplication style cards. Coffer's Eldrazi running Invoke Despair, worth playing the 10 mana value card. Invoke Despair is not playable as long as a Johnny and Ocelot Pride are legal. Maybe Corey Steelcutter too. Maybe not Corey Steelcutter as much. All right, so we have 6 mana. I think we'll lead on stock up. Yeah, I think I'm pretty interested in taking Jewel Upheaval here. Maybe I'm a little light on card draw if I take these. If I cycle the Lrien Revealed like I want to. But I have the Quantum Riddler. I think it's fine. Yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll just not play Tamiyo. Seagate Stormcaller plus Neoform can win. Yeah, that's right. That Seagate Stormcaller Neoform doesn't work because there's no Dualcaster Mage to Neoform into. That's the other combo. With Jewel, we don't need to cycle Lorien. I think I want to. I think I just want to. Every land you play is so good when you're gonna Upheaval next turn, you know. My opponent shocked in the fountain and then did nothing. Did I see? I have seen this card. I know it goes infinite with Sprout Swarm. I've got infinite with Sprout Swarm with Intruder Alarm in my deck. Maybe this card's better. But I was never really enthused with that one. Is the Wizard Mana Drain anything? I don't even... What is the Wizard Mana Drain? Okay, Upheaval is kind of funny into Casey Jones. It's kind of awkward because like the discard 3 doesn't matter that much because they're going to have to discard cards anyways. Could Winter Moon be a consideration instead of Trinisphere? No, the Trinisphere is really important because it locks opponents out post post Upheaval. Winter Moon doesn't do that. But I do like Winter Moon. I do think Winter Moon's playable if you're playing a Karn deck with some number of basics. It's like a little bit underutilized, but it's like very niche, that application. So let's go Enigma Jewel, Mox Opal, Trinisphere. Maybe I wait a turn on the Trinisphere. The thing is, I'm worried about it getting consigned. Yeah, we could take a turn to Trinisphere. It should be okay. Pretty cool. Is anybody entertained? Is anybody in the chat entertained by this? Yeah, we had an O2 drop. What do you want? So we can only play one spell. I'm going to play Tamiyo. This has to be miserable to play against. You know, I feel like this is fresh. I you know what I mean? I don't know how miserable you could be playing against some people. They're printing a cancel that turns into a mana drain if you control a wizard. It's kind of interesting. So the sync is pretty fun to hold up here. I think I have enough mana to cast Quantum Riddler and hold up sync. Could flip the Tamiyo here, but I think I just hold up sync. Wait, they don't have a third land? I think they don't have a main phase 1 stop, actually. Do you have a spoiler this season? No, I almost never get spoiler cards. I couldn't tell you the last spoiler card I got. They discarded 2 Casey's. I think we should probably just let this go. Save our time walk. Yeah, I mean, I've been streaming for like 7 years. I have gotten some spoiler cards. But just pretty rare. So I think I'm okay to just try to maybe dump my hand so I can start drawing extra with Riddlers. Just make sure I can also hold up sync. So if I can play one more Signet and then still have 3 mana. Yeah, they don't have a main phase 1 stop for some reason. I guess they do have plenty of mana to escape Flage again next turn. Although, sorry, the Flage goes back to hand though. So sync is actually better than counterspell here because we'd rather it be in the hand. All right, Loch Mare's a good draw. So let's play the Loch Mare first. Then we'll play a 3 mana Preordain. Draw 2. I find an Upheaval. I think let's go dump this. Draw 2. Draw 1. I guess we will just kill them next turn, probably. Double Upheaval is beautiful. But like the first game I played with this deck, I didn't have the Trinispheres, so I didn't have the lock, but I cast Upheaval like 5 or 6 times. Like I would just like play Tamiyo, flip Tamiyo, re-Upheaval. It was so sick. So I don't think Harbinger is as good of a lock piece post Upheaval because of Solitude, so I think I want to keep leaning on a couple Trinispheres. Don't think I really need to side against Jeskai Blink, honestly. Deck weirdly works, you know. The first match I played, I 2-0'd Boros for my first match, and it took forever. They played so slow. I wished I was streaming so bad. And then I played against Titan the next round, and I just didn't have like I didn't have the main deck Trinispheres, and I realized that like against like Affinity, Titan, and like Storm, like you need to be able to go like Upheaval into Lockpiece. You need to maybe Storm is even like just like Upheaval's are just bad. Maybe we just board them out, but and just bring in like the Trinispheres and the Jailers. But being able to go Upheaval into Lockpiece, so Vexing Bauble against Affinity, Harbinger against Titan, and Tron, Trinisphere against every deck. Very important, I think. Tapping Jewel for 2 like real mana with the Signets also feels so good. Does Kellen double mana or does it add an additional? Probably only. Is it? Wait, is Kellen? Wait, is Kellen the fairy or the, like Oko Sun? What's the Simic mana doubler or mana additional one? No, it's not Kellen, is it? Keenan, that's right. This looks like my kind of deck. How do you win? You attack your opponent with Quantum Riddler and Loch Mare after Trinisphereing them. Add 1 additional, so it doesn't double. I was just kind of thinking about this card with a Badgermole Cub, but this could be kind of interesting. Maybe Keenan's a little bit underexplored. You may have noticed. I'm kind of just I'm having fun like focusing in on like older cards lately. I feel like I've just like MH3 to death almost. Not that of course like MH3 cards you still play with the older cards too, but I'm just kind of enjoying kind of hyper focusing on stuff like Shackles and Upheaval. Are y'all mulliganing this in the draw against Jeskai Blink after they mulligan? I think the fact that we have Tommy to block Ragavan is pretty big. If you splash green, you can also get cards like Grazer and Azusa. Well, I certainly wouldn't play those cards at all like in this build. That would be like a lands focused build of this archetype. One needs to be focused on artifact ramp or lands, but like the land ramp's awkward because bouncing your own lands is tough. Yeah, I guess Upheaval is a Modern Horizons card, huh? I like putting green in this deck for Lawful Grazer. Yeah, we have like 14 lands in this deck. Y'all are crazy. I'll just always want to change everything. Would I still be good with Upheaval? I mean, I think that the artifact ramp plays much better with Upheaval than land ramp. Like it's just hard to get those lands back in play, you know? It's much easier to get the Signets back in play. And this is a Mox Opal format, you know what I mean? They don't have a main phase stop. This is very weird. Grazer seems like a dude. Wait, okay, what do you mean splash green for? Why are we talking about a Boreal Grazer, chat? We have we have 12 lands in the deck that we're not. I mean, I guess you're cutting the sinks. The sinks are really good, but like let's say we just add Grazer. Are you cutting Signets for Grazer? Are you cutting Mox Opal? We have right now 14 lands for Grazer. This is not a let's add a Boreal Grazer to this deck kind of deck. This is. Why are we even bringing up a Boreal Grazer at all kind of deck? It is like so shockingly far away from what we're doing right now. Like as far away as you possibly could imagine. I think I'm just taking mana here. Tamiyo, memory lock, and the ideas of using Keenan. Well, if I'm using Keenan, I'm never going to put a Boreal Grazer in my deck either. I'm going to play I'm never going to play acceleration that doesn't work with Keenan. I'm always going to play like a Delighted Halfling or Artifact mana in that spot. Also, does that make sense? I guess it is April Fools. Yeah. So they draw 3. They probably has a land to play after that. So yeah, again, Grazer is just like I would never play Grazer and Keenan in the same deck probably. Yeah, Badgermole Cub though. That would be a good one. That was kind of the thought with Keenan. I'm interested in messing with Keenan some, maybe like in the April style show. Does Keenan put humans into play or non-humans? I think Keenan puts humans into play. It's non-human, dang. It does feel like they have another consign that they're saving for the Casey here. I'm gonna take Opal, Preordain. They discard a High Noon. I had my Boros opponent last night play High Noon against me, and I just upheavaled, and it felt so good. So I'm down to 9. They flip over an island. Non-humans you can spin in Tamiyo. I was kind of hoping you could spin into April off Keenan. I feel like that would be actually pretty good. Ooh, Loch Mare's a nice draw. April goes kind of hard in this list. I feel like we don't have that many types necessarily. It's a little, I don't know. It could be interesting. I guess I can preordain first. The bottom both of these. Jewel's a little awkward. Kind of out of gas, too. Maybe made a mistake not, Okay, interesting. Alright, I guess I'm going to play the Jeweled now that I have a blocker for Ragavan. Then they have one card. Ah, the one card is Felia. Damn it. I'm not dead. I go to 1. Although, my outs are limited. I thought you had enough mana to take Lrien Revealed. Yeah, I think maybe. Oh, happy first of the month. Upheaval's still good, I guess, because we get the Trinisphere down. Oh, okay, but they have Flage. So, not holding up the sink. Cost us a lot there. Does Crafting Jewel do anything meaningful? I mean, technically with Lock... I guess you don't even have counters for Loch Mare. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything, although I don't think it's ever really a big part of any deck's plan. I guess we did play a Tron build of Jewel one time that had something. The old Upheaval strategy was just putting Psychotog in play. It was. The old strategy when Upheaval was first released was Brush Hopper. It exiles itself in a turn. I don't think it's like a modern any replacement. I think that it is never correct to start brewing with a card in a new format and try to like recreate the formula of how it was built in another format. I don't know that has ever really been successful. I think VV Cauldron's a good example of like why it took so long for us to figure out VV Cauldron in Modern is because like with the modern enablers really changed the way the cards play. They power up a lot of them. Like leaning into the modern enablers was a big part of that deck coming together. I think playing Tamiyo. I mean, I'm definitely gonna keep this, and I think playing Tamiyo turn 1 so that I can get another artifact for Metalcraft will be pretty important. Opponents in the tank on their 7. They mull a 6. I think it's like a pretty common mistake from people who are coming over from Legacy who like try to build their Legacy deck with like the same. They try to build their Legacy deck in Modern with the same formula as how it's built in Legacy. And they do have a discharge for the Tamiyo. We draw another Signet, so we'll cycle, Preordain, and then another land would let me go dump both Signets out next turn, I guess. I guess we'll play this, and we'll be in a spot where Upheaval is reasonable, but we're going to really want to find some amount of card advantage first. They play an Arid Mesa. I like to chatter for suggestion for Frog. Today, I'm not taking suggestions. The suggestion box is closed. I'm really excited about this deck. I'm not trying to change it right now. I guess I'll play around like Artifact Sweeper instead of Vexing Bauble. Big top deck next turn. I would love for them to go like Casey Jones and then blink the Casey. They flicker a Talent or a Signet. Don't know how often they're going to consign the Signet coming back. They don't if they have the option. We draw maybe the best possible here. I think I don't want to hard cast because of Mystical Disputes. I'm very worried about Strict Serenade though. Nice. So if they Wrath the Skies away my Signets, I can just hardcast a Riddler next turn. Yeah, this is really not so bad. It's a 4 for 2, but then I get to 3 for 1 off the Riddler. I guess I only get to draw 1 card. But let's prioritize resolving this. Drew another Upheaval. And Riddler being in play post Upheaval is also nice, of course. This is maybe not the best draw. It's okay, though. I just want to dump my hand maybe to draw more cards with Riddler. Although, Riddler gone. They main phase Evoke Solitude, pitching Wrathless Skies. They've got 2 cards left in their hand. I'm back up to 20 life. They don't have a land, maybe. They maybe would have hardcast. Maybe they have Casey. Blade, okay. So, Arena of Glory doesn't kill me. It's pretty deadly. Definitely not going to play Tamiyo so that I can go Upheaval into Tamiyo next turn. And I guess we're just hoping they tap out to Escape Flage without Arena. They do play Flooded Strand. Their last card is a spell. It is a spell, and it's a spell they're thinking about casting also. Happy that they're going for the Flage. Five, 6, 7, 8. They have a Dispute as the last card that they just top decked. Okay. So we're going to go down to 5. They did not top deck Riddler. They drew another Flage. So now, if now I'm dead once they get 3 lands in play. So this was also another pretty insanely good top deck for them. Gonna be a very difficult game to win now. I think I'm gonna play Jewel instead of Tamiyo. Yeah, if they just like them drawing Dispute into Flage here is really tough. Me drawing another Signet is good. I don't know that it's going to be good enough though. I need to find either I need to Upheaval again next turn, which is going to be tough, or I need to find a sink. And they drew a Discharge. I guess we're going to lose. I did draw the sink. Maybe it's a little early to give up. The problem is I have to Upheaval again soon, otherwise they're gonna just be flaging me to death. I do have enough mana to sink or stock up and sink this turn. And so I guess I'll take sink and then Loch Mare. Maybe it's supposed to be Preordain instead, but I think Loch Mare is just more. We might actually get out of this. We have 2 Upheavals left in the deck and 2 Tamiyos to recur Upheaval, potentially. So this is 4 mana. So I guess I only get to draw 1 card off Loch Mare this turn. Unless I draw Mox Opal, then I get to draw 2. But one of them, the first one will have to have been Mox Opal. Okay. Maybe everything is coming together to steal a very difficult game to win after my opponent has drawn very well. Although, I don't know, it's still very dicey. Brutal to lose this one. My opponent drawing Dispute into Flage is just pretty unlucky. The Discharge also. They had a lot of bricks. Maybe they've drawn another dispute. Okay, they did not. So, big turn to find another Upheaval, I guess. Let's see. Or I guess another sync. Nope. Okay, bummer. Is there a reason we're not running more interaction? We cannot afford to. Alright. They're also in Model 6. Let's keep. Let's put back the Lrien Revealed. On the draw against Boros. My favorite place to be in Modern. Some Crayon helps. I don't know what Crayon is. They flip over a stock up with the Ragavan. Plays a Guide of Souls. Plays an Ocelot Pride. Yikes. We go to game 2, I think. Oh, Krang? I think I'm pretty uninterested in Krang unless my deck is yeah, -2 Loch Mare +2 explosives. I think I'm pretty uninterested in playing Krang unless my deck has like Pinnacle Emissary or Weapons Manufacturing. Like that card costs 8 mana. Is there room to fit Omen Hawker? I think the card's just awful. I just don't want to play it. I have tested in the shell. I just really don't like to play. I miss the deck tech. Interesting to have so many cheap cards with Trinisphere. Yeah, you have a lot of mana, one, but also like the idea is Trinisphere is that it's like it ends the game post Upheaval most of the time. Like with decks being able to like just redeploy stuff post Upheaval, just important to lock them out with it. Shouldn't the deck run a bit more counter magic? This I don't know. Listen, chat. I'm really excited about this deck. I know we have a lot of times. Can we be excited about Upheaval? I don't know. This deck can't afford to play more counter magic. This deck is 36 mana sources. You can't afford to just have 1-for-1s in your deck. It just the formula has to work like this. You can't afford to just play more counter magic. Deck was awesome off stream last night. I'm really excited. I can't do this with y'all today. I'm not going to do this with you today. Upheaval is the interaction. I'm having a lot of fun, and please let me have fun. I think there's room for 4K command over the Preordain. The mana gets really like, how many blue sources do we have? You have 8 blue sources in your Enigma Jewel deck, Tamiyo deck. You have to have like 14 minimum. We have 14. There's too few. Also, you have 8 colorless sources in your K command deck. That's too few. So while K command is a very good card, it doesn't seem like we can cast our spells here. I agree that K command over Mox Opal or over Preordain would be awesome, but I don't believe that the mana works. We do have a ton of signets. So it's signets do cast the Tamiyo and Enigma Jewel, but these are 1-drops that need to be castable on turn 1. At the moment, these are not really reliably castable turn 1. If you're trying to play them off signets, you're casting them turn 3, which is not a good plan either. Opponent's on the Mold of 6. And also you don't have enough color sources for K command right now, so it's possible to solve these problems, but it seems tough. So I can go turn 2 Signet, and then I have 3 mana. I can go double Signet the following turn. That's okay. And have a relatively empty hand for the Riddler. They have turn 1 Monkey again. A little late, Miss Tamiyo. Feels like we could use some talismans over signets. You could play talisman. You could build a deck. I'm not doing this with y'all right now, chat. I'm playing my deck. I'm not deck building with you right now. I'm doing something I've never done before. I'm just playing my deck today. I'm not doing this with y'all now. All right, they flip over another Signet. I think if we draw Mox Opal, we might be able to go Tamiyo plus flip. Could also find explosives. I think we have enough mana to go Signet first, right? Down here in Austin, we've got some first RCQ decks and an open calendar. On an open calendar, the store picked Easter Sunday, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Well, playing to their demo. Voice plus a Johnny. Pretty good follow up, although the Tamiyo flip is also good on this board. So draw 2, flip Tamiyo. Redeploy Tamiyo. Hold Mox Opal for Wrath, play it for Vexing Bauble. Hold, I suppose. The Voice of Victory beats Tamiyo, right? These don't go to the combat step traditionally, so they do get in. Yeah, I believe so. So they can get in for 2 damage. Everything's coming at me instead of this Tamiyo, which I think makes sense because I just have the ability to flip this Tamiyo. We're really hoping they can't flip this Ajani. That would be bad for us. They're flipping Ajani. This is bad for us. You showed them nothing game 1, so I don't think they boarded in Wrath. Yeah, maybe. So I need to draw Sync or Upheaval. Do you have a Preordain? And I guess one thing with Sync is I also have to. I guess I can flip the Tamiyo. They have 1 card left in their hand, and then they don't use it. Oh, this is an interesting one. At the cost of my Signets, and maybe at the cost of my sanity, I can just kill the voice and kill the Ajani. So I have 7, 8 mana. This costs 4, which means I'd be one short of playing the Quantum Riddler also. I guess playing the Riddler is also a little weird because I don't really want to flip this Tamiyo because I want to be able to block this cat so that I am not putting myself in a position that I'm dead to a Flage. Sack the Opal too. I don't know what you mean by sack the Opal, I guess. Okay, so let's hold up Sync and try to ultimate Tamiyo. Azorius, the Twitch Prime, and then the Tamiyo ultimate synergizes well with Upheaval, since that allows us to not discard anything because we have no max hand size. Do I care about this? I think I don't care much about it. I think I'll just bounce the cat token. It's actually mostly for the extra artifact for Mox Opal. So obviously I want to set up for Upheaval next turn. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear this. My phone's ringing. Play Island. Do you think I want to play the Jewel? I think we're holding up Sync instead of playing anything else. Is it weirdly ever better? I mean, I don't think it's better to like Mox Opal out another Signet. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Why did opponent play the Moon? I mean, they drew. It was their only card in their hand. They boarded it in. They're gonna cast it. Did I find a Trinisphere? Did not find a Trinisphere yet. Four, 5, 9, 10 mana next turn. They did draw Wrath Disguise. I think I am gonna bounce it here. I think it's gonna be okay. I can also return a Sync to my hand with Tamiyo next turn. Yeah, they let this. They're playing Boros and on a Wednesday. They're not. This is not the most high level stuff necessarily. I don't have another Sync in my hand. So I guess I'm gonna minus on Sync for this turn. I think since they killed my Jewel, I don't want to Upheaval this turn. I'm just gonna spend my turn getting more mana. I thought I had one more Jewel. Okay, there it is. Do not vape, kids. It's bad for your lungs. Could cast Preordain. I think we are probably fine not to. Might need to be a little bit mindful about how many cards we draw at this point. Although I guess I do still kind of need to find Trinisphere, so maybe that's a good reason to have cast the Preordain. So they're gonna have 5, 6, 7. They're gonna have 8. So I guess they won't have to discard a card next turn. Although neither will we, because we have ultimated Tamiyo. Flipping Tamiyo this turn is kind of important so that we can keep minusing on Sync to like time walk them. I'm not familiar with the decks. Do you win with Riddler Beatdown? Yeah. We have a couple. We have some Loch Mares too, although we did board them out. I guess let's go Tamiyo, Preordain. Again, I'm interested in finding Trinisphere, and we are somewhat likely to find it, although we did not find one there. Bottom both of these. Flip to Tamiyo. Still no Trinispheres after ton of. I mean, okay. Do I have another Preordain? I don't have another Preordain. I feel like okay. I did not mean to cast the Tamiyo, although I don't hate casting the Tamiyo there. I think I'm just gonna dump my Signets now. And then next turn find a Trinisphere and hardcast a Riddler with a bunch of sinks. I have another Mox, right? Yeah. Playing with our food here. So I have enough sinks. I don't need to minus the Tamiyo. Let me start off by I think like for sure drawing the Trinisphere or like 90% after all the bottoms. Okay, there we go. Maybe another Signet, maybe the other Upheaval. It doesn't matter a lot, you know, because we just do have access to all of these cards anyways. I do know that I want to hardcast a Riddler, so I'll just see if I have enough mana to also Signet after. I think I have exactly enough to do this. And then the sinks are just going to be time walks from this point on. And then we have like multiple of those time walks with the Tamiyo minus for them just to be like totally locked out of this game. The Trinisphere will not stop them from trying here. Okay, now they concede. Okay, I think we'll stick with the sideboard plan. The explosives are really good. Maybe we could play one more. That people was fine and all. Weren't we just winning if we cast a Reeler a bunch of turns ago? Literally, I'm sorry. I make no apologies for building an Upheaval deck and casting Upheaval and winning a game here. I don't know what I've done to this Twitch chat. I'm so sorry that listen, if Saffron Olive's chat would be going crazy right now. Saffron Olive's chat would be going crazy. And come the fuck on. I don't know what to tell you. Let's mulligan this to the draw. My opponent does keep 7. Not a very good 6. Not a very bad 6 either. I guess we'll keep. We'll put back the stock up. If I lose this match, I'm going to play another league of this deck. I don't care. I'm having fun. Guess there's not a lot of a reason to attack. Missing the land jump here is very tough. I mean, I don't sort of hate it. Sort of felt like playing with food. I just, I don't know. I just feel like, can we just not have a little fun? I think it was correct to cast the Upheaval there and lock our opponent out. That is like the deck's game plan. You know, they were casting like Wrath Disguise every turn. So I do think that, you know, this, if we are going to win this game, flipping Tamiyo and having that just be very good against this board is possible and what we need to have happen. Although I guess if they're going to be plussing a Johnny, then it's not going to be super viable here. Could maybe still find engineered explosives on 0, but probably just going to lose this one. They do make a cat, although they can just plus next turn. Okay. I'll concede. We're going to do at least one more. I'm having fun. I make no apologies. All right, I'm gonna mulligan this to the draw. Speaking of shitty cube decks. My opponent's on 6. I'm on 6. Not a great 6, but I think keepable enough. Put back Tamiyo 2. I took an Aspiring Spike inspired Toro Raymer list to finish 3-1. Messenger did work all night. Yeah, I remember I used to like Messenger in those decks. Opponent goes Breeding Pool go. Maybe part of me winning with this deck off stream was I think I was actually I think I had Jewel in all of my openers. Sync is pretty good against Living End. The forces are going to be pretty tough though. Yeah, I agree. These are pretty dim. Oh, they're Neoform. Okay. They're going to consign my Signet. Desynchronization seems perfect for this deck. All right, I'll read Desynchronization. Return each non-land permanent that's not historic to its owner's hand. Does seem interesting. I don't know what you'd cut for it necessarily. It's like mini Upheaval though. No room for Force Subtlety, considering we're just tapping out for random artifacts mostly. No, there's not room. Like, our deck is 36 mana sources and 4 Upheavals. The rest of the deck needs to be card draw or you're going to flood every game. Which is also kind of the problem with Desync, is like, you're kind of running into a similar issue. Oh, it's an instant? It does seem pretty cool. Might be what we need. I do think Desync is pretty interesting. Maybe we could play them over the Loch Mares. It does make a Johnny flip. It doesn't. I don't think that would kill the cat token. Artifacts are historic. Wouldn't escape shift letting resolve mean they potentially lose all lands? Potentially, but they could also just potentially get a lot of value too. You don't like. I think you got to respect your opponent, and you have to let them be able to sniff out that you have force negation, especially if you think about it for even a second. Maybe if you feel like you're a really good actor, but if your opponent knows what's up, they could just get like Saga Woodland, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. I guess the desync is really, 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 really bad against Affinity, huh? We do beat Veil of Summer. You need to have Pact of Negation. I do think one of their 3 cards is Consign. So we are on Vexing Baubles for this matchup, and I guess the Trinispheres are pretty good. Although Vexing Bauble Trinispheres has some tension, where they can just play 3 mana for the Rider. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just cutting these then. Maybe I could play 1. Okay, let's play 1. It's not like Upheaval is that great against Affinity anyways. I agree, although Upheaval to Vexing Bauble is pretty good. Would bouncing a cat token to Upheaval or to Fairy not flip a Johnny? No, a token leaving the play doesn't trigger death triggers. Yeah, Jailer doesn't do anything against Neoform. It's mostly anti-Storm, also anti-Living End. When it's deep in the tank on their sideboarding. Could also maybe play Harbingers. Harbinger does get them a surprising amount of the time. Maybe Harbingers. I think 1 Harbinger is better than 1 Trinisphere. Maybe I'll cut 1 stock up for it. So maybe good that they tanked because we shuffled things around. How do you feel about Jailer versus Gorios? It's not very good against Gorios. It's one you can bring in. I don't know that I would bring it in for this deck. If this is a island, are we keeping against Neoform on the draw? Probably not. Opponent's not sure about their 7-card hand. Okay, mulliganing this. I think go to 5. I think I gotta go to 5 on Neoform. We just need kind of need a Vexing Bauble on the draw. Send us 2 Vexing Baubles. So let's put back 1, 2. Might get consigned. Now, this doesn't just win the game against them if they can find Hooting Mandrills. They graveyard Eladamri's Call. I haven't seen Eladamri's Call in a while. Although Call seems like it maybe would be one of their better tools here. Then they main phase Nature's Claim, so I can't sack Vexing Bauble to draw a card. I guess my life total doesn't matter very much, so if they have another Nature's Claim, I guess I'd rather be able to sack Vexing Bauble. Drawing a land would be pretty good next turn because we could go Signet, Quantum Riddler, draw 2. Riddler combo with a Mold of 5 here. It seems unlikely that we're going to want to sack the Vexing Bauble end of turn. We did draw the land. Maybe desync would be good on the side. I do think it would be better the main, do the prevalence of Boros synergy. Yeah, maybe. I think it's an interesting suggestion for sure. Might be better than explosives in the side. I don't like that it doesn't bounce Ragavan. I don't like that it doesn't bounce Felia. Don't like that it doesn't bounce Flage. Maybe it's not even that good. Maybe it's like mostly worse than explosives. Definitely worth thinking about. They only have 3 cards in their hand. They need 4 to combo, and they also need to either have Hooting Mandrills or an answer to the Vexing Bauble. They do not put a land into play, as you would kind of expect them not to in this spot. Explosives also good against Affinity, yeah. Which is why I think Explosives is maybe better. They have another dispute, so we are cardless. Opponent was able to deal with Vexing Bauble, a Riddler, and a stock up already. And they have another Nature's Claim for my Vexing Bauble. Oh, they don't have enough cards in hand to combo this turn, but they may just be like a green card drawn away from winning. Depending on what they get, this could be good. Not as good as a Sink, of course. They do Hooting Mandrill, so I guess the Vexing Baubles weren't going to be that good anyways. This does let them keep a couple cards in their hand. They go for Atraxa. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So going to take Misty Rainforest. Take Nature's Claim, Wistfulness, Misty, Xenagos, and Neoform. Wistfulness pretty good, just to hard cast next turn. Maybe I just go to game 3. Maybe you're a turn too late, Sink. Okay, let's go to game 3. On the play for game 3. I think we could maybe play one more. Yeah, let me play one more Harbinger since they're playing the white splash. Their mana's a bit worse, and we're also on the play. Well, I can't mulligan a Vexing Bauble on the play against Neoform. I am going to lead on at turn 1 to play around either my opponent just casting Allosaurus Rider on turn 1, which they do sometimes, to play around Vexing Bauble, or to play around Consign to Memory. Pretty interested in like also drawing a couple lands so I can hold up Sink. Not a bad draw. Worse if they have a dispute for the Tamiyo. We'll see if we get turn 2'd after going turn 1 Vexing Bauble. Maybe reading the Jewel. So I'd be surprised if they would dispute Jewel but let Tamiyo resolve. So I feel like this is maybe like I might be being gifted a tapped fish here. So they get an untapped fountain, then they let the Jewel resolve, and then they do nothing with the untapped fountain. So maybe what they have is a consign, and they thought they could consign this because it's an artifact, but it's blue. Da do dee da do da, which means no consign for them. They play an untapped Garden of Freyalise, and then a Voice of Victory. Okay, so not too good against me. I'm not like that in on interaction at instant speed. Really, just the sinks. Can they consign the bubble trigger? Yes, they can. Draw Preordain, I could flip Tamiyo. Drew Mox Opal, which is not doing a lot for me with the Vexing Bauble in play. Don't think I'm bold enough to sack the Vexing Bauble here to flip Tamiyo, get the Opal out there. Hoping to find a Harbinger, maybe. I see a lot of High Noon over Damping Sphere. Is Sphere good against decks like Neoform and Affinity? Sphere is good against Storm and Titan. High Noon is good against Storm and Prowess. And Living End. Sometimes you'll bring in Sphere against Neoform, but it's kind of specific if you want to do that. So I'm down to 14. Dying to Voice of Victory beats would be kind of funny. They have 7 cards in their hand. They besage you my Vexing Bauble main phase, so I don't get the card draw. I have 5. I guess I can Upheaval. I have 5 mana. Then they play the Rider, so the Upheaval's looking pretty appealing because they have to repitch to play it. Although they will have the green cards to pitch maybe. Is it mana neutral or mana positive to play the Signet? I think it's So I have 5 mana right now. Or sorry, I have 6 mana right now. And if I spend 2 mana to play the Signet generates 2 mana. So seems unnecessary. Don't think there's a way for me to... Yeah, I won't be able to get Metalcraft online. Oh, sorry, I need to play the stupid Opal. Guess I'm gonna put back Tamiyo. So I guess we're gonna try to play that. Seems like they have Consign. So can they Neoform me this turn? We know that they have one Pinnacle. They have one of these lands to play as a land. They do have a Rider in their hand. They have another one as a green card to pitch, but they just play Voice of Victory instead. In my opinion, Damping Sphere is generally the best hate piece in Modern if your deck supports it. I mean, there are better cards against Titan and there are better cards against Storm, and it's kind of not good against any decks besides those two. So I don't know if that I agree necessarily. It's fine. Guess I have to play the... Oh no, I don't have to play this. I do think I'm more interested in upheavaling again than I am like bouncing the Rider to their hand. We can take we're taking what, 5, then we can take 5 and twice, or I guess 6 if they play a land. Definitely regretting not playing the Opal, so I could have had Tamiyo here. Maybe Tamiyo was better than like another Upheaval. So I'm taking 5 and go down to 9. They let the voice trigger away here. I draw Sync, so maybe I'll be bouncing the Rider this turn. Let's lead on the stock up, though. I'd like to find a Signet if I can. We don't find a Signet. We do have a lot of those in the deck. Do I care about Vexing Bauble anymore? Not really. I think I'll take 1, but not both of these. And I think I'm going to value... So if they play a land, this is 4 plus 3. Yeah, I think with double Upheaval in my hand, I do attack here. Although... I guess this is maybe bad against Dispute. Can I pay for Dispute on Upheaval? I should have checked first. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 4. So 9 mana. So I could play around Dispute by playing Sync first. Might need to do that. I go down to 2. I do think that they... I guess we don't really know about Neoform, do we? Does Quantum Riddler change things? Kind of. Yeah, maybe attacking was pretty bad because now just Sync on the Rider means like... Yeah, I think I'm going to attack and play Sync to play around Dispute, and then just play Harbinger. Usually want to land after Upheaval, but oh, I had one more mana than I thought I did. Okay, I guess I should have landed after. Can I play any mana rocks first? So I can go Signet down to 2 mana floating. Then I can play Opal, Jewel down to 1 mana floating, Opal up to 3. Okay. So could have played a land this turn, just miscounted. Now they should be pretty locked out here. Sync is basically strictly better than a basic island with Harbinger in play, so we can just discard one here. I guess they can still play Allosaurus Riders as threats. And I can like sync to like him to Turok them over and over again, which is pretty fun. They also can play blue spells like Dispute and Consign. So maybe they're not like completely locked out. They pitched an Atraxa and an Evolution there. Consign here would be pretty awkward. They don't have one, thankfully. See if they have a Dispute instead. Yeah, the Sync is like, I guess Mind Rot more than him to Turok. It's pretty funny. Then they play a Hallowed Fountain. Then they pitch 2 Planar Genesises. They're down to only 3 cards in their hand now. Can I just hold up the other Sync? I attack for 2 again. My opponent has fairly Allosaurus Ridered 4 times this game, which is very funny. Okay. Scoreboard. Okay, I'm going to click the keep button. And I think I'm going to lead on Enigma Jewel for the high roll, draw a land, and if I miss, I can try to preordain into a land. Lrien Revealed. If I draw Lrien Revealed, I can cycle with the Jewel, float a mana, play Signet, and then play second Signet. They're on a multi-5. Spike, do you think Striker Rich in the Board of Creativity is important? I would basically never play it in the 75. I think it's just kind of bad. So I draw another Signet. Hopefully I can find an island, play Tamiyo, block Ragavan, bottom, Pain. Ragavan for sure flipping an island here. They flip stock up. Thank you, Ragavan. Mishra's Bauble with Opal and Tamiyo worse than Signet 9 to 12. Yeah. I'm not going to play it. I really feel very good about 12 Signets. I'm very happy with that number. They're able to cast the stock up after their mold to 5, which is kind of funny. I think this would be a pretty bad Bauble deck. Pain, dude. Line piece. I do think this matchup was pretty good. I think we got pretty unlucky to lose with them top decking Dispute into Flage. They had so many bricks in those spots. They flip another stock up. Okay, I think let's go to game 2 here. I stomach my opponent getting to resolve 2 of my stock ups. All right, I think I'm happy enough just to run it back again against Jeskai. I don't think we want more Trinispheres or Consigns or Baubles. I think we're fine. Would be a great Astrolabe deck, yeah. Can only dream. Yeah, we had 15 between the Lrien Revealed and the Sinks. We had 15 outs there, and we were on the draw, and we missed 6 times. Okay, we keep this in the play against Jeskai Blink. Explosives. You want to bring explosives against Jeskai? I think it's very bad against them. Yeah, Desync's also really bad against Jeskai because all their stuff's legendary, really. Oh, it's on the play. Okay. Fair enough. Another turn 1 Ragavan. I feel like almost all of our opponents have had turn 1 Ragavan against us, like almost every single game today. Maybe that's not true, but it's been a lot of turn 1 Ragavans. They can have their mana dork here. They flip Tamiyo, which is... I mean, I would have liked to draw Tamiyo for sure. Tamiyo's a little bit weird. If they flip it ever, it goes to me. Yeah, Upheaval was what was from the best Modern Horizon set. Image 2. Seems like they're thinking about playing the Tamiyo. They can control the flip pretty well. I think it's fine. Although if we ever Upheaval, we get to bounce that back to our hand, which is something too. Can also sync it back to our hand. Definitely gonna play the Signet, drawing this Mox Opal here. I think we're going to Preordain next. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted, so I can go Tamiyo into Warp Riddler, flip Tamiyo. What was my train of thought when deciding to play Upheaval? So we were playing the Enigma Jewel Shackles deck yesterday, and I was reminded of this old brew with Enigma Jewel and Signets and how we hadn't revisited it post Mox Opal, and I tested this version last night. I immediately 2-0'd Boros. The deck was sick, and I was super duper excited, and now we're here. Are they gonna get my Tamiyo? Probably gonna get my Tamiyo. It's a pretty good chance I'm just gonna wait on casting Trinisphere. Ooh. Until post Upheaval. I don't know. They also are missing land drops, so maybe not. Hope we can find an Upheaval off of the stock up. Getting the Tamiyo back to our hand would be great. We're gonna be hit for 5. They're gonna get a clue token. They've got 3 cards in their hand right now. Ragavan flips a island. Yeah, I was so disappointed when I woke up and I realized I was playing this deck on April Fool's Day. So they have 5 mana available to them, 3 cards in hand, and a clue token. They're spending their treasures. It's gonna hardcast Riddler, I guess. They warp a Riddler. Would Cryptic be kind of alright? It does everything, including Fog. I know that people are really attached to counter spells. I just don't feel like this is a deck that can afford to really play counter magic. Oh, they're flipping Tamiyo. It goes to me, right? Yeah. Huh. Don't know that they realized it would do that. The idea is to make a lot of mana with Signet's Jewel, recover faster post Upheaval. Yes. They say, ha, science. And then, do they have a way to scam a Riddler? They have a Consign to keep one of their 2 Riddlers around. So the +2 on the Tamiyo will buy us some amount of time, I guess. Sure. April Fools. I'm going to cast Stock Up. Do not find an Upheaval. I do find an Upheaval. I'm going to keep both of these. Oh, I guess one of them might get Ragavan, so maybe we can trick them into casting the Loch Mare, and then trick them into casting Loch Mare, and then we get to cast it post Upheaval. They can kill the Tamiyo by sending the Solitude and the Riddler at it. Them casting the Loch Mare, it's so funny. It's like how often does Ragavan hit you? They cast your spell, then it's like you net 1 card because of it. I have a 9 mana before the Upheaval, then 10 off the island, kind of a free 11th off the Mox Opal. They play the Flage, but now I guess we're hoping they just sack the treasure token and play the Loch Mare. Instead, they hold up mana, which is worse for us. We do have a sync we get to bounce to our hand, which is something. We can pay for Dispute also. We can pay for the blue-white mana link that they play sometimes. Okay, they don't have any of those as their last card. We'll play an island. We will play... We need to play the Trinisphere. So we can go double Signet, Mox Opal, Trinisphere here. We need to play the Trinisphere to lock out the Ragavan. Yeah, no more lies, thank you. So I can go double Signet next turn, and then they'll time walk. We'll time walk them again the turn after. They graveyard it to Fairy. We now have the option to hard cast Quantum Riddler. I think I'm gonna double Signet instead. Just double rampant growth with the Trinisphere is pretty nice. And then we also maybe will be able to dump our hand to like draw extra cards off the Riddler. Like if we like sink on their turn too, maybe not. They're trying to pay cost. They can't on account of this whole Trinisphere situation. Another sink is a really good draw. So I have, yeah, I think I'll just go hardcast Riddler, hold up sink here. Maybe it's a mistake to not warp the Riddler because we're kind of low on action, although there's a good bit of action. Don't think I'm supposed to play it here. It's really bad if they like flage it. Yeah, Sync does it like I love that it's like time walk that you get to pick up with Upheaval. It's pretty fun. They graveyard of planes. And they pass back with Felia up, I presume. Is Boomerang mod illegal? Both Sokka's Boomerang and Boomerang are legal. So I have 3, 5. So I guess a Signet is free. Or maybe not free, but I can only double spell anyways. I'm not going to be playing any of these things as lands. They're just so valuable. But I think that I am going to sink. I'm going to sink Felia and then like set up to time walk again. Yeah, we could also have Loch Mare the Felia. But I'm also kind of interested in like double sinking to like get my hand lower and like drawing cards with the Loch Mare. I don't know if they're just gonna Felia again. Or if they'll try to play like Escape Flage here. The Flage going back to their hand is pretty good, although they do already have another copy in the yard. I will cast another Upheaval if I draw one here. After attacking for 4. They do have to discard a card. We have lethal next turn after the lock. Yeah, this game's just lock. We just sink their one spell, attack them for lethal. Will I still cast Upheaval? Yes, if given the choice. I suppose I'm cycling this so that when I draw a card off the Loch Mare for the first time, I just get to draw 2. Can't remember, do they have Solitude? It doesn't matter, they can only play one spell. Is this a Stompy deck? Am I playing a Stompy deck right now? Yeah, I saw the epic mechanics returning, although now it doesn't have the big downside of you can't freaking cast spells. Blue decks are above the Stompy name. The second Trinisphere do something. It gets our hand lowered for Quantum Riddler. They pitch cast Solitude for 3 mana. We sink, we win the game. They're trying to pay cost. There's still a Trinisphere in play, and we go to game 3. We're gonna be on the draw for game 3. I do think this match was pretty good. I think we got kind of unlucky to lose game 3 last time we played it. Mulliganing. Did I consider Ethereum Sculptor? Our deck already has 36 mana sources. We can't afford to play a cost reducer. Hopefully, don't get turn 1 Ragavan again. I feel like I've been Ragavan enough for today. So let's see if they have a Felia. Nice. Graveyard's the Thundering Falls. Maybe they'll bounce like a Signet with Teferi this turn. Bounce one Signet, two will take its place. I'm a little bit worried about overcommitting into Wrath Disguise this game. My opponent doesn't have... Okay, well, there's a Ragavan, but they didn't have cheap threats. Maybe they kept Wrath. Maybe they kept Counter Magic. They flip over one of my two Trinispheres. It's a little bit concerning to only have one left. It's not the end of the world in this matchup, though. I can still play double Signet after this, so maybe I'll play this first so I can pay for Dispute on stock up. I kind of want to back up Upheaval. Okay, I'm going to go Executive Decision and not play around Wrath of Skies. Hopefully they like hit Loch Mare and put a Loch Mare into play. They hit a Tamiyo, so maybe I guess I want them to cast that so I can get backup Tamiyo. We've also been Wrath Disguised enough today. You know, we deserve not to get Wrathed. So they started to pay Tamiyo, then they play Sacred Foundry. Then they play a Flage. Maybe they'll consign to keep this in play. And they don't play the Tamiyo. So I am one short of paying for Dispute or No More Lies. But I have a backup Upheaval, so I think I'm supposed to jam. Nice. Oh my gosh, I didn't float mana. Oops. I guess I'm putting back an Otawara. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. So, to the chatters who go, you forgot to float 2 mana, do you not see that like 8 people above you saying the same thing, or what's going on with that? Chat delay. Okay. Just wondering. Probably cost us this game. Probably lost us this game. Damn. We'll see, we'll see. I guess I played Jewel. Lets me dump my hands pretty hard. Did you mention or cover cost reducer? Yeah, I mean, I responded to your question already. But again, we have 36 mana sources in this deck. We cannot afford to also play cost reducers. They had a Mox Opal, which is relevant for their cruise. Maybe a little bit bad into Upheaval. They ending my Jewel. I think I may pack it in. Yeah, sorry. I do think we are in a pretty good shape to win that game if I didn't mess up on the mana floating. Sorry about that. Feels bad. All right. Have had very few Jewel openers. Very excited about this one. Although we are on the draw. Love to draw another Signet. Jeskai again. Jeskai should be a good matchup. Maybe we can steal game 1. Or steal is not the right word, but win game 1. Did not draw another Signet this turn. Drawing Island Island, a little less than ideal. I think I'm going to bottom both of these. The Lrien Revealed is at least a little bit tempting. Happy enough to draw Loch Mare. We'll see if they have Felia. They do have Felia. More than half of our deck's islands. We have 15 islands, 16 if 16, or we have 14 islands / sinks and then / Otawara and then 2 Lrien Revealeds. Like Signets are like much better than islands here. Maybe I should have said that. And they have a prismatic ending for. Oh, they have March for the Signet. Okay. So maybe this turn I try to buy some time by going Loch Mare, stun counter the Quantum Riddler, and then this gives me enough power and toughness to block the 3/3 Felia. Now they'll just flicker the Loch Mare, but it's kind of okay since it resets the counters. I don't know if people have been playing Surveillance combo and feel differently, but I definitely have had bad experiences with it. They flip an island to Ragavan. More than half of our deck is islands, by the way. Ephemerate on the Riddler is very, very good here. Interesting draw. I think I'm just going to stock up. Stock up and Loch Mare again. Although maybe this turn, maybe last turn I was supposed to Loch Mare the Felia. I mean, definitely going to do that this turn. Would you play this deck or Surveillance and Challenge? Not this deck. This deck's maybe more of a proof of concept kind of deck. As far as Surveillance, I just moments ago said I think Surveillance is bad and I'm off of it. So maybe they have Flage or Discharge here for the Loch Mare. They have 4 mana, 4 cards in their hand. I'm going to wait one more turn before upheavaling. I guess not that I really have a choice. Can Preordain first here. A little Upheaval flooded. Can I buy one more Signet? That would have been really nice. Kind of bad on the first stock up. We could have taken double Signet, but then we drew a Upheaval after that. It shouldn't be that bad. I guess we can even like use the floating Enigma Jewel mana for the other Signet the following turn. So they can we did kill their Ragavan, so they can for sure hit me for 4. Maybe they have another Ragavan. They have a Flage. No haste with Arena. This puts me down to 10. The Riddler puts me down to 6. Getting down to 3 is like pretty bad. Oh, they just have an Arena of Glory. I think I may just backup deck. I had my fun, I think. I had my fun. If only the off-stream games were the on-stream games, you know. Okay, so I've had this for a little bit. This is another one that was going well off stream. It's kind of an updated build of an older brew. This is